Have you ever wondered what leads to such intense courtroom dramas that the very walls seem to reverberate with emotion and shock? Today, we're going to explore cases filled with outrageous behavior, tragic confessions, and heart-wrenching moments that have left an indelible mark on all who witnessed them. Brace yourself for the unexpected, and if you're ready to delve into these shocking stories, hit the like button, press the bell icon, and subscribe to stay updated. Imagine the scene. A security guard stands accused of murder after a fatal confrontation in a parking lot turned deadly. Tensions ran high as the prosecution built its case, painting a picture of a man whose anger had devastating consequences. The court sentenced him with gravity, knowing that the lives of both the victims and the families involved had been irreparably changed. On the other hand, we had Ronnie O'Neal, a defendant who sent shockwaves through the courtroom with his shocking confession to horrific murders. As the evidence piled up, O'Neal's lack of remorse was a stark contrast to the devastation he'd caused, creating a tense atmosphere. Every detail made the courtroom feel heavier, and when the final sentence was delivered, there was a collective sense of relief as justice took its course. Courtroom chaos erupted during a particularly memorable trial, where a defendant was so disruptive that his behavior spiraled out of control. His anger and disregard for courtroom decorum eventually led to a severe contempt of court charge and a heightened sentence, amplifying the spectacle. In a different courtroom, another defendant had an even more explosive demeanor, resulting in a 20-year sentence that underscored the gravity of his actions. The unforgettable Jeremy Christian was involved in one of the most dramatic trials, one that escalated after he committed a fatal stabbing on a Portland train, all while filled with hate-fueled rants and assaults. His trial was a sobering look at how unchecked anger can lead to unimaginable consequences. With every word, Christian's demeanor cast a dark shadow over the proceedings, and when his sentencing was finalized, the court exhaled, knowing he'd face justice for his brutal actions. There were also unexpected moments of mercy within the courtroom. In one instance, a father took to the stand and, with unimaginable strength, forgave his son's killer. The emotional intensity of this scene was almost overwhelming, moving many in the courtroom to tears. His act of forgiveness was a powerful reminder of humanity amidst tragedy, a rare moment that brought a glimmer of peace to a setting usually dominated by anger and grief. On a different note, Diana Jean Lovejoy's conspiracy to commit murder left the courtroom in shock as the details of her plan unfolded. Her conviction was a stark reminder of the lengths to which some people will go when driven by desperation or hatred. The drama of her sentencing, marked by an intense breakdown, left a lasting impression on those present, making it clear that justice would not be evaded. T.J. Lane's case, involving 3 counts of murder, was a somber affair marked by his eventual guilty plea. This plea brought some closure to the grieving families, but the trial was nevertheless filled with tense and emotional moments. Lane's sentencing offered a sense of justice, even as it highlighted the sorrowful reality of lives lost too soon. In another dramatic turn, one courtroom was stunned when the defendant hurled feces and urine at his lawyer. The act was shocking, adding a sense of disbelief to the proceedings and leading to even stricter security measures. This case was a disturbing reminder of how tensions and extreme behavior can escalate to unimaginable extremes, leaving everyone wondering what had driven the defendant to act out so violently. Not all moments in the courtroom were filled with horror. Some were tinged with an unexpected levity. One convict, known for his wild personality, had everyone laughing with his unexpected antics, a moment of comic relief in an otherwise serious setting. Another memorable event involved a feisty old lady who resisted arrest with surprising tenacity. Her feistiness left an impression, showing that age doesn't always temper rebellion. Some defendants' behavior was beyond shocking, as in the case of Michael Madison, who was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated murder. Madison's demeanor throughout the trial revealed a chilling lack of remorse. His sentencing underscored the court's commitment to justice, bringing a sense of closure for the victims' families who had waited long to see him held accountable. Among the bizarre moments, one defendant attempted a daring escape, turning a routine sentencing into a full-blown security spectacle. While his escape attempt ultimately failed, it added an unexpected twist to the trial, highlighting the intensity and unpredictability of these proceedings. In a different trial, a defendant's antics led to him being gagged with duct tape, an extreme measure that left a lasting impression on the courtroom and showed just how disruptive some individuals could be. In another tragic case, Aidan Fook was sentenced to life in prison for the premeditated first-degree murder of Tristan Bailey. His sentencing was the culmination of a case filled with sorrow and grief, and it underscored the gravity of his actions. Bailey's family and friends watched as the court ensured justice was served, though it could never truly bring back the vibrant life that had been taken. One particular case involved an unexpected consequence of social media, where a foolish Snapchat post led to fatal results. This incident highlighted the dangers of online behavior, and the courtroom drama that followed served as a modern-day cautionary tale. When the sentence was finally handed down, it was clear that this was more than just a crime. It was a tragic example of how the digital world can amplify reckless actions. Adding to the list of intense cases was the conviction of Calvin Lloyd Griffith, who stunned the courtroom by dancing during his trial. His antics baffled everyone present, creating a surreal moment that contrasted sharply with the serious nature of the charges against him. This bizarre behavior left everyone questioning what would drive someone to act so defiantly in the face of severe consequences. In another heartbreaking instance, Sheena's daughter delivered an emotional testimony that left no one in the courtroom untouched. Her words painted a vivid picture of the pain and loss she had endured, and the courtroom seemed to hold its breath as she spoke. Her testimony highlighted the impact of crime on victims' families, underscoring the lasting scars left behind by violent actions. As dramatic as it gets, one defendant's disrespectful behavior led to an increased bond and a contempt of court charge. His outbursts showcased the complete disregard he had for the process, and his antics only served to deepen the court's resolve to see justice served. Each explosive moment added to the intensity of the trial, painting a picture of a defendant at odds with any semblance of remorse. Lastly, we revisit the unforgettable case of Jeremy Christian, whose trial was filled with explosive courtroom moments. His violent rants and the terrifying act of stabbing on a Portland train left a dark legacy. As each witness recounted the horrors of that day, the courtroom was gripped by a mix of fear and outrage. Christian's sentencing marked the end of a trial that had stirred the community and revealed the frightening consequences of unchecked hatred. If these courtroom dramas kept you on the edge of your seat, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay tuned for more gripping tales from the courtroom. Let us know in the comments which moment shocked you the most, and stay with us as we continue to explore these intense encounters where justice and drama collide.